4 ways to handle a cold and distant spouse. Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And this is a question, a subject topic that I get all the time in my one-on-one coaching sessions, in my DMs, comments on YouTube is how to deal with a partner or a spouse that's cold, right? That isn't reciprocating, that isn't really what feels to be involved in the relationship as much as they may have been at one point. Now, I completely understand how this can create some concerns, right? A level of insecurity, not exactly knowing how to navigate or manage this situation. And what ends up happening is it feels like you continually perpetuate this non-communication cycle. So, what are some ways that you can combat this? What are some ways that you can change the dynamic and change the situation so that it benefits you and you're actually able to feel like you have your partner or your spouse back? So, the first thing that you want to do, and this is going to seem completely counterintuitive, but trust me, it works, is create some space. Give your partner some breathing room, right? Now, the reason why I say this is counterintuitive because for most people the assumption would be, okay, well, if my partner is being distant, if my partner is seems to be pulling away, why would I give them even more space? And the reason for this is because it is possible they are dealing with some internal things, right? Maybe there are external stressors that are contributing to them kind of shutting down and pulling away. Maybe they are going through something, emotionally that they have just not been comfortable enough to express with you. And oftentimes you make the mistake of thinking to yourself, okay, well, it's obviously about me. And it's not always about us. It's not always something that you did wrong. Again, it can be something that's affecting them externally. So maybe there's pressures at work. Maybe there's a situation in their family that's going on that they just haven't really been able to emotionally process. Maybe they're having issues with friends, right? Whatever the case may be, it's important to give them space because like I said, the natural inclination is to try to pull them in even more, right? Try to grip a little bit tighter because you feel like you're losing control of the situation. And when you do that, what you actually end up doing is pushing them further and further and further away. Also, creating space gives you time to be a little bit more introspective, right? A little self reflective and try to really understand the reasons for why your partner may possibly be pushing themselves away or isolating themselves or acting distant, right? And when you give yourself this time to think, it helps you to gain a new perspective. It also helps you to view the situation objectively. Oftentimes, what ends up happening is that you're viewing it from your lens, right? So it's very subjective. It doesn't feel good. It feels like it's a personal attack on you. It feels like everything is falling apart. It feels like things are not right. But when you pull yourself out of the situation a little bit, it gives you the ability to view it from a different angle. It also gives you the time to ask yourself the questions, as I mentioned earlier, right? So, why is my partner being distant? Why are they pulling away? Is it possibly something that may have to do with me? Is it the dynamic of the relationship? It's something that going on in their life. Asking yourselves those questions is incredibly important to be able to actually come back and start to try to decrease that gap, right, between the two of you. The second thing, and this is obviously related to the first one, is just drop the pursuit. If you have actively been trying as hard as you can to get your partner to open up and they are just not opening up, drop the pursuit, right? Because one of the things that I say to my clients all the time is the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Just stop. Let there be time and space, let there be breathing room. Create a situation where you depressurize instead of create more pressure in the situation. So stop the pursuit. The third part of that is just talk, right? I know that seems conflicting considering that I just said to drop the pursuit, but I mean to drop the pursuit, obviously, if you are or have actively been trying and your way of doing it, your strategy is just not working. However, if you are in a circumstance or a situation in which there has really not been any communication whatsoever for an extended period of time, it's probably time to try and talk things out, right? Try to communicate with your partner. Ask them what's going on. Ask them what's wrong. Ask them if there's anything that you can do to support them throughout this period of time. And if they are telling you, no, I'm fine, no, leave me alone, no, I'm good, it's something that I'm dealing with on my own. Maybe they do tell you it's something that has to do with you and they're upset or they're frustrated, whatever the case may be. Opening those lines of communication will help you to actually position yourself so that you can start to work through some of the issues to resolve some of the conflict. Because as long as you continue to allow it to just go on indefinitely, right? There really isn't going to be much of a resolve. There really isn't going to be a solution in sight because you haven't sat down and had a conversation with them and tried to figure out what is going on. Now, if you are the type of individual who is more avoidant and you don't necessarily like to deal with conflict, it's something that I would challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone with, right? Because this situation may call for it. And if the two of you are avoidant, then obviously it'll be one of those circumstances or situations that nobody brings it up and it just keeps going on, right? And there's this huge elephant in the room that nobody is calling out. Call out the elephant and see if that works for you. Because if you've just been silent this entire time, why not try a different strategy, right? And the last thing that you can try to do is to try to find a connection with your partner again. Oftentimes, what I find is when there starts to be a distance that is created within the relationship, right? There starts to be this kind of feeling of not really being emotionally attached to one another anymore. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we've fallen into a routine in the relationship, right? The monotony of life has kind of just infiltrated our day to day living. The relationship isn't really much of a priority anymore. And there are other things that are taking precedence to the relationship itself. So trying to reconnect is one of the most important things that you can do in order to try to bridge that gap. So, what does your partner find interesting? What are their hobbies? What are your hobbies? Is there any way that you can involve them in your hobbies? And if you haven't done something for yourself in a long time, start to do that and then try to involve your partner in the process. If your partner, for example, loves to play video games and it's just not your thing, try it. Try to sit down with them and play video games, right? Connect on their level. Maybe you love to, let's say, for example, rock climb, and you've just never really invited your partner to do that. Invite them to do that so they are able to take a glimpse into your world and start to feel that connection to you once again. So again, just to go over some of the tips, some of the recommendations, right? The first one is give your partner space. You have to allow for space so that there is some breathing room and you're actually able to sit back and really reflect on the situation itself. The second one is stop the pursuit, right? If you have actively been trying to get your partner to open up and they are just not wanting to, drop the pursuit. The third one is just talk. Open the lines of communication, right? So for you, if you have been avoidant of the situation because you don't want to deal with the conflict, or maybe your partner has been avoidant, you guys haven't really talked about what's going on, try to talk things out. Call out the elephant in the room and open the lines of communication. And the last piece of advice is try to find a connection with your partner again, right? So meet them on their level or have them meet you on your level, right? Have them meet you in your comfort zone, things that you find enjoyable, maybe things that they find enjoyable, and try to share in that in order for you to be able to build that rapport again and build that connection, which may be contributing to the reason for why you are losing ground, why you are feeling distant. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. I love to hear what you have to say, so make sure you are putting your comments right down below as well. I read as many as I possibly can. I respond to as many as I possibly can as well. Maybe you just want more information, right? You want a little bit more detail. You can visit us at www.happily committed.com, where we have a multitude of different articles and blogs and videos related to this subject and many other subjects as well. You can also book a one-on-one coaching session with either myself or any of the other amazing coaches that we have on the team via the website. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you soon.